Negotiations are a daily part of being an agile leader, whether you're discussing story points or team velocity. Negotiation skills are also essential when interacting with project managers, stakeholders, and customers. Did you know that negotiation is more than knowing which questions to ask? In this video, we'll look at the kind of negotiation skills you need to achieve a consensus that will enable your team to deliver on time. I'm Toolie Merchant, and I'm an Agile practitioner who teaches leadership skills to Agile professionals. Early in my career at Microsoft, I was blessed to be in the beta delivery of a course on how to ask higher value questions so that we could drive better outcomes in just about all of our business interactions. That course had a profoundly positive effect on my career as I used the tool they provided to think more strategically. That course has evolved over the years since I took the class, and I'll put the link to the company that runs those courses in the description below. Not long after taking that class, I realized that negotiation was a part of daily life. Sometimes it's a formal undertaking. Sometimes it's just talking to a spouse about what you want for dinner. I began challenging the assumptions I carried with me into meetings, planning sessions, decision-making, and more. By asking better questions, I was able to achieve better outcomes, not just for myself, but for everyone involved. Before we go too much further, I want to clarify the difference between negotiation and mediation. For that distinction, I called upon my dear friend Michael Friedenberg, a mediation expert, for definitions of both mediation and negotiation. Here's what he sent me. A mediator is a neutral third party outside the dispute. They have no stake in the outcome and no authority to decide. Their job is to manage the process, not the result. Mediation is a negotiation facilitated by a neutral mediator when parties are stuck, polarized, or unable to move forward productively on their own. By contrast, a negotiator is someone inside the situation advocating for their own needs, constraints, or outcomes, whether individual or organizational. Ideally, they pursue self-interest in a mutual gain frame, not win-lose. And finally, negotiation is a direct discussion among interdependent parties to decide how value, risk, time, or resources will be allocated. As Agile leaders, we're not usually called upon to be mediators. In my video on resolving conflicts, I talk about when to call upon the managers of disputing parties if we, as Agile leaders, are unable to resolve conflicts by influence rather than managerial authority. So we'll stick to the practice of negotiation here, which is what we do nearly every day. So what are the 5 negotiation skills we need as Agile leaders? First of all, relationships. In my videos, I talk about the need to develop relationships with our team members, as well as with those with whom our teams interact. If you have engendered trust in the people with whom you work, then negotiations move much more quickly because of that trust. That is, the understanding that you're both working towards a mutually beneficial outcome. Listening. Never is the skill of listening more important than here during a negotiation. Applying the 80-20 rule is a great idea. Listen 80% of the time and speak only 20% of the time. My father modeled this skill to me regularly. He was by nature a quiet man, but he didn't miss a thing. He was also very good at summarizing what was said and was respected for his ability to bring people together. Observation. Your ability to pay attention to what is not said out loud can be a key skill, and it allows you to anticipate and overcome objections in the negotiation process. And of course, questioning. There are several structural models available for asking and answering questions. Most people skip the first 3 skills and go straight to questioning, which ends up slowing down the process. By acquiring the first 3 skills, questioning becomes much easier. Win-win mindset. When you're negotiating within the Agile methodology, you want to achieve a mutually agreeable outcome for both or all parties. Collaboration must be at the heart of your negotiations rather than an I win, you lose mentality. I'm pleased to say that many of the aforementioned negotiation skills are built into the Agile methodology. Here are just some of the places where we negotiate every day. Sprint planning, where we discuss sizing of work and the distribution of work. Daily stand-up, where status updates and problem solving occur. Scrum of Scrums, where teams track assumptions, risks, and dependencies and negotiate corresponding adjustments. And cross-team planning, where we identify upstream dependencies, scheduling, and releases, and also negotiate adjustments. If your Scrum or Kanban team is well trained in Agile, most of these meetings go pretty smoothly because you have a common frame of reference. For example, you've previously decided what a story point represents, or what the turnaround time is for cross-team requests. It's when things have gone awry that negotiation skills really come into play. Let's use an example based on something that actually happened on one of my assignments. The details, of course, have been changed. One of two interdependent groups raced ahead of the other in planning the semi-annual work, and now the schedule is at risk, affecting your team. Decisions made by others about your team's plans were not discussed with the other group, so some communication steps were missed. You've been asked to set up the meeting with the other group to decide how to resolve the discrepancy. How do our 5 skills come into play in this situation? Some skills we employ ahead of time, some we'll use during the meeting, some we'll use for both. Before the meeting, relationships. How well do we know this other team? Is there a representative or spokesperson we already know? Win-win mindset. We don't know whether there are any persons attending this meeting who may have participated in the scheduling discussion, so coming to the meeting with an open mind, ready to find a solution, is essential. And questioning. Here are some of the questions for which you need answers before going to the meeting. How flexible is our team schedule if we have to delay or move product functionality around? The point of negotiation is timing. If we have to change the order of work produced, will that mean that expected functionality will be missing? The point of negotiation is product capabilities. Can the problem be solved by shifting personnel to other duties or hiring new people? The point of negotiation is capacity of personnel. How quickly can the other team catch up? The point of negotiation is shifting their priorities to accommodate yours, and possibly vice versa. Now you need to assemble the people who will attend the meeting. This involves more questioning. Is this a preliminary meeting, or will this require multiple meetings? Who are the fact carriers, those who know the details but may not be decision makers? Will technical subject matter experts be available to clarify and quantify the technical impact of the situation? Will project managers or owners of the schedule be present if scheduling will be impacted? Will persons with final decision-making authority be present? If all 5 types of people are present, it may be possible to come to an agreement or resolution in one meeting. In my experience, thorny situations like this require at least 2 meetings. The first one to lay out all the options and make a recommendation, and a second meeting with the authorized decision makers to come to a resolution. Once you get to the meeting, you as the leader of the meeting must set expectations for the outcome. Blamestorming is not permitted. Keeping your cool is essential. Analysis of who did what and why should not be the focus of this particular meeting. You're here to come to a resolution. Here's where more skills come into play. Listening. It's going to be best if we let the other team speak first about their concerns. We have a certain amount of information that's been sent to us, but let's make sure we have all the facts they have to offer about the situation. Observation. Are the other team's representatives calm and open-minded? Are there sidelong glances that reveal the result of prior conversations not yet disclosed in the meeting? And of course, questioning. Once you feel like the other team has spoken their collective minds, then you can turn to the questions you answered for your team prior to coming to the meeting. That is, scheduling flexibility, product capabilities, capacity of personnel, and adjustments of priorities for both teams. There's one more type of question that needs to be asked once you've both spoken your piece. It's a trap that I see in meetings like this that can cause discussions to stall, and that is not recognizing that you don't have enough information to make a decision. If there are substantive issues that cannot be resolved due to missing information, then you have to stop and document that for the next meeting. This is why I mentioned earlier that resolving complex issues like this is rarely accomplished in one meeting. You simply don't have all the data. So what happens next? Typically, both parties present the information they've gathered to their higher-ups and stakeholders, and a second meeting is scheduled. It's in this second meeting you're definitely going to need the people with final decision-making authority present to bring the issue to suitable resolution. You need to continue using these 5 skills to bring that second and any subsequent meetings to a resolution. If you do this well, you can strengthen relationships with the other team, reinforce the win-win mindset between the team members, sharpen your listening and observation skills, and most notably, practice asking questions effectively. I hope this example brought back memories of meetings past where some of these skills might have been useful to you. I too have my own flashbacks. But now you've got specific skills you can use to help you through not just the everyday negotiations, but through the really gnarly ones too. I hope you found this video to be helpful and that the skills we discussed will be something you practice from now on. Comment below which skills you plan to use with your team. As always, be sure to tap that like button and hit subscribe to stay informed about Agile leadership strategies. You'll be the first to know when my next video arrives. Until then, be sure to check out my Agile certification classes and my private chat server where fellow Agile professionals gather to support each other. The links to both of those are in the description. See you in the next video.